Annabelle was the focus of a case that framed paranormal investigations Ed and Lorraine Warren took part in during in the 1970s and is highlighted in the book The Demonologist. It has been stated that this is one of the most unusual cases of a possessed object on record. In 1970, a mother purchased an antique Raggedy Ann doll from a hobby store. The doll was a present for her daughter, Donna, on her birthday. Donna, at the time, was a student in college preparing to graduate with her nursing degree and resided in a tiny apartment with her roommate, Angie, a nurse as well. Pleased with the doll, Donna placed it on her bed as a decoration and didn't give it a second thought until a few days later. Within that time, both Donna and Angie noticed that there appeared to be something very strange and creepy about the doll. The doll apparently moved on its own, relatively unnoticeable movements at first, like a change in position, but with the passage of time, the movement became more and more noticeable. Donna and Angie would come home to find the doll in a complete different room from which they had left it. Sometimes the doll would be found cross-legged on the couch with its arms folded. Other times, it was found upright, standing on its feet, leaning against the chair in the dining room. Several times, Donna, placing the doll on the couch before leaving for work, would return home to find the doll back in her room on the bed with the door closed. One night, Donna came home to find the doll had moved again. This time, it was on her bed. Donna had come to find that this was a typical of the doll, but somehow she knew that this time was different. Something wasn't right. A sense of fear came over her when she inspected the doll and saw what looked like blood drops on the back of its hands and its chest. Seemingly out of nowhere, a red liquid had appeared on the doll. Scared and desperate, Donna and Angie decided it was time to seek expert advice. Not knowing where to turn, they contacted a medium and a seance was held. Donna was then introduced to the spirit of Annabelle Higgins. The medium related to the story of Annabelle to both Donna and Angie. Annabelle was a young girl that resided on the property before the apartments were built. She was a young girl for only 7 years old when her lifeless body was found in the field upon which the apartment complex now stands. The spirit related to the medium that she felt comfort with Donna and Angie and wanted to stay with them by moving into the doll. Feeling compassion for Annabelle and her story, Donna gave her permission to inhabit the doll and stay. They were soon to find out, however, that Annabelle was not what she seemed. Later that week, Donna saw that the doll, or Annabelle, was ripped and had jagged cuts along her mouth. One night, Donna awoke to some singing like a little girl. She walked into her bathroom to see Angie dead with the words, "Wanna play?" written in the blood of her friend. The doll was never found. Lou was friends with Donna and Angie and had been with them since the day the doll arrived. He had never been fond of the doll and on several occasions warned Donna that it was evil, saying that she should get rid of it. However, Donna had developed a personal tie with the doll and decided to keep it. Despite Lou's feelings, her decision was a terrible mistake. One night, Lou awoke with a jolt of terror, a jolt that didn't seem like it was from his usual nightmare. Somehow, something felt different. What would appear to be a common case of sleep paralysis became all too real. He looked around the room but couldn't discern anything out of the ordinary at first. Anyway, looking down toward his feet, he saw the doll Annabelle. He began to slowly glide upon his feet, moving over to his chest and stopping at his neck. Helpless against it, the doll began to strangle him. After a moment, Lou, at the point of asphyxiation, blacked out. He awoke the next morning certain that it wasn't an ordinary night terror and was determined to rid himself of that doll and the spirit that possessed it. Preparing for the road trip the next day, Lou and Donna were reading over maps alone in her apartment. The apartment was eerily quiet. The silence was broken with rustling sounds coming from Donna's room. Aroused fear that someone had broken into the apartment, Lou, determined to figure out what was causing the noise, quietly made his way to the bedroom door. He waited for the noises to stop before entering and turning on the light. The room was empty except for Annabelle, who was tossed in a corner on the floor. Lou searched the room for signs of forced entry, but nothing was out of place. As he got closer to the doll, he got a distinct impression that somebody was behind him. Spinning around, Lou found that despite his unease, nobody beside himself and the doll were in the room. Then, in a flurry of motion, he found himself doubled over in pain, the blood dripping from the cut on his chest. Upon opening his shirt, there on his chest, what were appeared to be 7 distinct claw marks. I hope you all enjoyed this article, and should you ever want to visit the infamous Annabelle, she can be found in the Warren McCult Museum at Meadows, Connecticut. The museum is run by Lorraine Warren, the famous paranormal investigator and now frequent guest on the television show Paranormal State. Housed in the glass case at the museum, you will find Annabelle. Miss Warren relates that Annabelle still moves about occasionally and is still known to be making growling noises at unsuspecting visitors. Hey everyone, Ben Mazza here, and the reading that you guys have just listened to is based upon actual events of an actual doll that is named Annabelle, which currently resides in the museum that I have mentioned in this reading. There have been some very paranormal activities with this doll, and there were some stories about a couple that tried to antagonize the doll, got into a motorcycle accident, the boyfriend died, however the girlfriend survived. This story and this doll has been in some medias, even guest starred in Paranormal Activity and other TV shows that dealt with paranormal activities such as possessions of dolls and spiritual activities. There are supernatural things that no one can completely understand, and the fact of these events of this doll being possessed and known to kill people if antagonized, I do believe that demons can possess natural things like humans, animals, and even objects such as dolls. So I do believe that Annabelle is possessed by a demon, and I do not recommend anyone to visit this doll, and I urge everyone to not poke into things that no one understands. So that is all I have to say in this video. I'm Ben Mazza. May the force be with you all. Have a good day, and just try to stay safe.